Hey guys, it's Carmine with Bedhead Fitness. It is Tuesday, the 4th of October. I'm coming to you today with myths and conventions that will keep you fat. Unfortunately, we live in a culture where there is an incredible amount of misinformation and misunderstandings about the food that we eat. And there is also a industrial food complex that profits on this misinformation. And we've been suffering through it for all different varieties of it, since I was born. What I wanted to speak is the ramifications of one specific type of myth. And that myth is the cheat meal. Now, most people believe that if they are working out and they're eating healthy, that they can reward themselves with a cheat meal. And I would not argue that is not true. Now let me talk about the conditions in which I would have a client pursue a cheat meal and what that meal might be versus what a person might actually do if you just give them a day in which they don't eat on plan or eat within what their schedule to eat is. So, Dusty's visiting. Hi, Dusty. Come on up, buddy. You can come up. Sorry, I have a doodle deciding whether he wants to be on camera or not. So, here are the circumstances under which a cheat meal works. A cheat meal works is if you have started to pursue your fitness goals, whatever those goals are, and you have created a nutrition plan and an exercise formula that on a continual basis you can control results and see positive results. If you have done that and you are able to maintain that for several weeks, then a cheat meal can come into the formula. A cheat meal is something that should be measurable, and you should know exactly what it takes to counteract that. In many ways, the input versus output formula in fitness is like balancing a ledger in accounting. And a cheat meal is just a significant difference in input. So, mostly I will term a cheat meal as a cheat event. And what it might be is just if a client has as an after dinner snack at perhaps an hour and a half to 2 hours after dinner, they have 150 calorie chocolate frozen yogurt. One night a week, maybe that turns into actually a serving of ice cream. Maybe once a week. It really depends on how quickly the results are going and how consistent they are with plan. Now let's talk about why the myth of the cheat meal doesn't work. First of all, most people assign themselves cheat meals based on the fact that they have started to eat healthier, quotes. They've started to eat healthier and exercise. And even if you have started those two things, you may not be moving to a better body composition. You may only be arresting weight gain, meaning whatever your food and exercise formula was before, especially at the time someone comes to see me like myself, or they're looking online for a resource for weight loss or a resource for body toning. By the time that has happened, they may be at a point where they're gaining 2 pounds a year. I started a new client that gained 12 pounds in 1 year. And that was their breaking point, and that's what brought them into my studio, a 47-year-old woman. So if you're on a pace that is gaining you more than the average American, I believe, in their 30s is gaining a half a pound to a pound a year. In their 40s, a pound to a pound and a half in a year. And in their 50s, 2 to 2.5 pounds. So if you do the math, that's how people end up, 30 to, I've seen over 100 pounds overweight. So when you are already in this point where your weight is climbing significantly, it is very difficult just to put together a formula that stops you from gaining weight and starts to move you in the other direction. Now, here is an example of how precise food needs to be. You go to your favorite restaurant, and it's an Italian place. And you're trying to listen to your trainer, so you're trying to choose a dish that has some seafood in it, or you want to have protein. So you choose, but it's your cheat day. So you love pasta, and you're going to have pasta. So maybe you have pasta with the white sauce with shrimp or something like that. And you're getting your protein with your shrimp. Now, if you go to a nice restaurant, the type of restaurant I typically go to, on a date or something like that, you might be, especially it's the weekend, you might be up to an hour, even longer than an hour, just to be seated. And in that time, what can happen? If you're behaving, maybe you have one cocktail. If you're misbehaving, maybe you have 3 cocktails before you've even sat down to eat. Now you have a little alcohol in your system, and your inhibitions have changed. And that means that you're probably not going to pump the brakes as hard as you should when it comes to your food choices. So we talked about your entree, but before the entree comes out, your breads come out. So you're trying to behave, so you just have one bread roll. Or maybe you split a bread roll with someone. Even better. You're trying not to have too crazy a cheat day. And you know that the pasta is going to come out, and your trainer has showed you the size that is a portion, and the portion happens to be what would fit in the palm of one hand. And on your plate, it's really a circle that is smaller than a teacup saucer. That's about the size of what the pasta would look like on your plate. But it's your cheat day, so you decide to have twice that much. So you're intentionally having twice as much pasta as you're supposed to, and that's your cheat. But it's your cheat day, and you do that. But you also split a bottle of wine. You're out, you're trying to have a nice night with your significant other. And you feel like having, a nice white with your seafood. Or, if you've had a red sauce, you just feel like having a nice Cabernet or a nice Pinot or something like that. So you've had 2 more glasses of wine, because it doesn't make any sense to buy a glass. A glass might be $16 a glass, a wine that you like. And if you and your husband or you and your wife split a bottle, you save money. So really, are you having 2 glasses of wine if you're splitting a bottle of wine? Probably not. You're probably each having a little bit closer to 3 glasses of wine. Okay, dinner's over with. And the waitress comes by with a fabulous dessert sampler tray. And it's hard not to look at. And gosh, you've had a couple of drinks and chocolate looks fantastic. But you're working on your fitness and you're going to be a good girl. And you decide to split a chocolate mousse with your husband, or you split a piece of chocolate cheesecake with your husband. But you split a dessert anyways. Now, all of those decisions sound reasonable, but if I were to break it down to you and carefully measure it and point by point walk through the glycemic index of those foods, the portion sizes of the foods, and what your body will actually use versus what it will store, the fact is that your body is going to store about 5 to 6 hours of exercise in your cheat meal. So that's why the myth of a cheat meal is a myth. Honestly, you need to eat clean almost all the time. If you do choose to make a mistake, it needs to be a measured mistake, not a day worth of bad eating. Maybe one item where you change a portion or you make a different choice. Simply put, and trainers hate this because I do believe people are hard workers and they do deserve their simple pleasures in life. So I hate to take the wine away from people, and I hate to tell them that they can't have chocolate, and I hate to tell them that pasta is not as safe even in a whole grain as they might think it is. So I have to tell people all of these things. But the truth is that in terms of glycemic index and carbohydrates and what we need for blood sugar, we go over the amount of blood sugar we need very easily. And that's why cheat meals don't work. And if you're even considering the thought of going into a cheat event or, one partial cheat day, be sure that you've already set a track record in which you know that you're able to manipulate and lower your body mass with the nutrition and exercise plan that you have already going before you even consider it. Once you have that in line, then you can consider making a small mistake, a small measured mistake. So that's your tip for the day. Stay on plan. If you decide to go off plan, make it a measured decision, and make sure that you know how to make up for that measured decision. So this isn't reward punishment eating. It's just saying that, I did decide to have that ice cream last night, so I'm going to add to my cardio today. And I'm going to eat even cleaner than usual today. And that's the way you continue to progress towards results. But if you do give yourself a day just strictly to cheat, it's probably going to turn out to be 10 steps backwards to 2 steps forward. And simply put, I look at how hard my clients work every single day, and I hate to see them set back because the work is too hard and the results come too hard, and to see them slip away over a single meal just seems silly to me. So choose to not have a cheat day as part of your fitness plan. So that's your myth break for the day. Think about that. Please, if this information was helpful to you, hit the like button, pass this over, and share it with friends who might be working on their personal fitness. It's a huge help to me. And also, please, in the comment sections, talk about the things that you want to talk about. Ask the questions that you want discussed. I'm glad to share every bit of the 24 years of fitness experience I have with you guys. So have a fantastic fitness day from Bedhead Fitness. It's Carmine, and I'm signing out.